growing up, I wouldn't say I was extremely picky, just because, you know, growing up in a Filipino household, I was forced to eat all of these abnormal foods that most of the kids around me weren't eating. But there was one particular food item that I just absolutely detested. Like, you put that in front of me, I won't eat it. Like, it was so bad, and that is mushrooms. Oh, I hated mushrooms. The texture, the taste, the look, they were just so slimy and gross looking. Believe it or not, I hated mushrooms, and I was still forced to eat them growing up, and I figured out a way for me to eat them, and that's in pasta. Mushrooms do harbor a more umami, protein-like texture taste to them, so they are great when it comes to manipulating meat items, and that's why they're great in pastas, because you can't really taste the mushrooms yet. That's one of the most important things in a meal, is texture. And today I'm going to share to you guys one of my favorite ways to use mushrooms that kind of hide the fact that it's gross and disgusting, but it's Portobello mushroom lasagna, and this also helps you guys who are vegetarian. It's delicious, and if you're trying to eat mushrooms, this is a great way, because that bechamel and the cheese sauce does kind of cover the fact that it is mushroom, and it's a great start if you're trying to get into eating a fungus. So let's get to it, guys. Of course, with all my recipes, I do suggest just getting all your ingredients and all your preparation ready. For this Portobello mushroom lasagna, and for any lasagnas, there's 3 parts to a lasagna. You need to do your noodles, your sauce, which in this case is a bechamel white sauce, and your filling, and our filling is going to be mushrooms. So basically, you just want to prep your mushrooms as so. These part, and then I'll just So you want to get the first and second part of the lasagna ready. So you want to cook your pasta noodles, and just like my macaroni and cheese video, we're going to be melting 1 1/2 stick butter right here, and also have some milk warming up right here. Remember how we used to we made a roux, and then we slowly started adding the milk into that roux mixture, and that is going to be our bechamel. And of course, we're going to be seasoning it with some nutmeg, some salt, and some pepper to taste. Now, since we just added the flour, we are going to try to cook out that raw flour taste just like our macaroni and cheese. Trust me, if you don't do this step, your sauce is going to have a very gritty consistency background to it, and also have a flour taste. It won't taste smooth and creamy, and we want the smooth and creamy taste. So to do that, we just need to cook the flour out for about 2 minutes, I'd say. 2 minutes, let it boil up for 2 minutes. Bechamel has come together. To know if it's the proper consistency, this is how you know when your bechamel is perfectly consistent. If it coats the back of the spoon like that, and then you go like this. I don't want to use my finger because it's going to burn. That's how you know it's the perfect consistency. It's time to season it. So we're going to add some salt and some pepper. And then my favorite seasoning for all white sauces, my favorite spice, the nutmeg. And then you want to start out with a 4th teaspoon, so you just kind of eyeball it. I learned this from Rachel Ray from a long time ago. So you just basically eyeball it, and you just go for it. And then you taste it. And taste if it needs anything else. So, there we go. So I tasted it. It needs more salt. So, add a little bit more salt. Because remember, we're not adding cheese directly to it, so it's not going to have that salty bite like macaroni and cheese has. Add some more pepper. The nutmeg is perfect, so we don't need to add any more nutmeg. I'm just going to add a little bit more salt and some pepper, and that's use bacon. you don't have, of course, you don't have to do this step, but if you're using bacon, first you want to render the fat from the bacon so it gets nice and crispy. Out, we're gonna add our mushrooms. I know it looks like a lot of mushrooms, but mushrooms do harbor a lot of moisture, so it's gonna wilt down as if it was like spinach. So we're just gonna. Now I'm gonna add our garlic. As you can see, the mushrooms are already softened. So we're just gonna add that, and the garlic's just going to give this mushrooms that extra bite, that extra aroma that will help the earthiness out. Our bacon. Just gives it that extra meatiness that I like. Now it's time to assemble. You want to get a baking dish, and you want to pour a little bit of your, calm yourself. You want to pour a little bit of the bechamel to lubricate the bottom. Yes, you have to do this, because if you were to do noodles first, it will stick to the bottom, and we don't want that. So we're just going to add some lubrication to the bottom. Okay. And we're going to add our noodles. Now, I did not cook them to al dente. I cooked them a little under al dente just because it will cook in the oven, and by the time it's done, it will have an al dente. It will be al dente after I take it out. But we don't want to overcook the noodles, so I'm going to add the noodles. Noodles, check. Mushrooms are next. So we're going to add our mushroom mixture. Oh, it smells so good, guys. I wish you could smell this. I think this is enough for 2 layers, I believe. Next, we're going to add our cheese. I am using a mixture of Pecorino Romano and Parmesan. You could do Parmesan, just Parmesan if you like. I do prefer this cheese for this type of lasagna because it is a very sharp cheese, just because everything else is very rich and creamy. And this kind of cheese helps cut a lot of the fat and the creaminess that goes on in this dish. That's good. Then another layer of noodle. I did cook a little bit more noodle than I was supposed to, but it's better more than less, right? We're gonna add and top it with our cheese. Check it out, guys. Next time you'll see this, it's gonna be golden brown and delicious. Alright. I mean, guys, like, come on, like, it looks so good. So let's cut a piece. So creamy, perfectly seasoned. The mushrooms don't have that consistency and that flavor that I dislike. It's really the perfect meal, and that bacon gives it that extra smokiness that I do love. So don't forget to subscribe and like to these videos, guys, if you like more of, well, me and dishes like this. I do have social networking. I have Twitter, Tumblr, and you know, I'm on League of Legends. It's all posted down below. The recipe and all measurements is going to be in the description box. Man, this is good. This is all for me. I hope you guys have a great